Thank you for watching another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. Today's date is September 3rd, 2022. This is episode 196. And I'm Troy West here with you once again. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the support. The channel been on a standstill, but it's still doing okay. I appreciate you guys so much. Got a big show today. Got a lot to talk about. MLB. I'm gonna go through the playoff picture real quick. I'm probably gonna do that first. Then I want to talk about Detroit Tigers player Austin Meadows. Just for this, he's struggling with a little bit of mental health issues right now. So I just want to touch on that, give a little bit of my take and my experience. NBA, of course, the big trade this week. Donovan Mitchell getting traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was a huge shakeup in the NBA. We'll see what that means for the Cavs and for the Jazz. And Giannis Anteokounmpo, the Greek freak. Everybody been talking about him lately. I get my take on him, what I think about him. NFL news, just yesterday, Russell Wilson got a 5-year contract extension. I get my take on that, and a preview of the Bills and the Rams this Thursday night to kick off the season. Two teams with big expectations going in. Rams, of course, are the defending champions, so that's why they host the first Thursday night game. So I give you my preview of that, what I think, how the game might break down. And just some other little news. College football going to 12 teams in the college football playoff by 2026. So that was big news yesterday. Some big college games as well as college football kicked off last week, really, but a lot of teams get started this afternoon, really, today, Saturday. So and just just upcoming content. We got NBA 2K coming, I think this week. What else we got going on? Really, that's the biggest date for September, but Last of Us must be coming soon too. Sorry about the BioShock video. Didn't do it like I wanted to. I wanted to do it yesterday, but I had a chance. It's been real busy here. And then tomorrow, this is my Sunday to work, so I won't be doing no content tomorrow at all, which I normally don't. Sundays don't usually do a lot. Not this Sunday, but the next Sunday will be Sports Sunday, so that's where NBA 2K might premiere, at least next week. We got the show playoffs, and also Madden as well. I'm gonna start my franchise. I'm gonna put a poll up today about that. What team you want me to use? I'll see if I get any feedback. If I do, I will let you guys know. But let's get into today's blog. Let's look at the playoff picture first. I was going to do the Austin Meadows things first, but just in case I start rambling, I want to get the playoff picture out the way. Let's pull up the standings here. Pretty much it wasn't been no big moves. The team that's surprising me that's starting to come back down to earth is the New York Yankees. Despite all their injuries, they first place lead is shrink to 5 games. Tampa Bay quietly still winning at 73-57. Toronto's in third place. The Baltimore Orioles, excellent year for them. Probably the biggest surprise in baseball, and I'm not just saying that because I'm from Baltimore and a fan, but nobody thought the Orioles would be here. They right in the playoff race as well. Boston quietly, slowly starting to fade out, but they 3 games under and still got a shot. That was the AL East, by the way. The Central, Cleveland and Minnesota, they're going to fight for that. Even the White Sox, I think the White Sox still have a chance to win this division. So those 3 teams are in playoff position. Also for the wild card, we're going to look at the wild card standings in a minute. And then you got Kansas City, Detroit, they pretty much out. West, Houston still with a big lead, 11-game lead over the Seattle Mariners, who's got one of those wild card spots right now. And then everybody else pretty much done. Texas, LA Angels, and the Oakland A's. A's not even with 50 wins yet. Them and the Pirates So looking at the National League now, Pirates under 50, and Washington at 45. So, but as we look at the National League East now, Mets 3-game lead over my Atlanta Braves. My Braves been quietly having a bounce back year. They the defending champions. Don't forget that. I like their young pitching. So I'm excited for my Braves. I think we could somehow come out. We might not catch the Mets, but I think we could still make some noise in the postseason. We get out that wild card round. I was nervous about that wild card round because I think it's just the best of 3. So Philly's still holding on at 73-59. Then you got Miami. I just brought up Washington. The Central, the Cardinals, another team that's been playing a lot better in the second half. Got a sizable lead now over the Milwaukee Brewers, who's still treading water. They 7.5 back though. Then you got Cubs, Reds, and the Pirates way out of it. Dodgers 90 wins, first team to 90 wins. You think they'd make it to 100 for sure. They played the Padres actually this weekend. Padres won last night's game, but they still just they 17 back. Dodgers just ran away with the West. Arizona has actually passed the Giants. While the Giants must have been struggling, the Giants have fallen all the way to 4. Then you got Colorado in the rear at 56-77. So now let's check out the wild card standings here. There we go. So in the American League, you got Tampa +2 and Seattle, so they pretty much tied for the top spot, but they won 2. Then you got Toronto a game, I think, with the 3rd spot. Then you got Baltimore at a game and a half out. Minnesota 4, Chicago White Sox 6, but like I said, the White Sox are closer to their division than they are with the wild card, so it's Minnesota. So I'm guessing whoever wins that division is of course you are sure to get the playoffs, but whoever don't might be on the outside looking in. That's how it's looking now. So should focus on winning the division. Boston is 7.5 back of the wild card, and everybody else is more than, actually nobody's closer than 13.5, which is Texas. After that, everybody's way out. National League, my Braves are +5.5. The Padres are right there in that 2nd spot at just a half game plus. And then you got Philly in the 3rd spot. Milwaukee 3.5 out of the last spot in the wild card. Well, like I said, Milwaukee is, I think they're closer to St. Louis. Actually, I won't know. 3.5 for the wild card, so no, St. Louis got a 7-game lead now, so no, Milwaukee's actually closer to the wild card. And then that's it. Everybody else, Arizona 9.5. Not only saying it because it's under 10, but Giants, wow, they must have had a bad week, because just last week they was firmly in that 3rd place spot in the West, and now they fallen off. In Arizona, they had to been playing better. Them and Colorado pretty much had the same record, so Diamondbacks supposed to be playing better. So that's it for the MLB standings update. So I update it every week. Playoffs are coming about 2-3 weeks from now. Well, about a month from now in October. So that's your latest there. Who's in, who's out, who's still trying to fight for a playoff position. And, so I'm gonna move on to the Austin Meadows. Well, I call this story, but basically, I know about Austin Meadows, not his story per se, but him as a player. I remember him as a player, so I was just looking through yesterday because I usually don't do a lot of MLB news. I just usually just read off the standings and that's it. Like I said, I don't know a lot of baseball fans, but this story set up to me because it hit me personally, because he's going to take the rest of the year off because of mental health. And I read a little bit, what was going on. He had been having a lot of injuries, and I think he had COVID at one point. So he got a lot of things going on behind the scenes as well. But he actually, came out and said, he need a mental health break. And athletes, I commend a lot of athletes. A lot of athletes been speaking up on mental health, about their own personal experience with mental health lately. And I think it's needed because somebody like me, a normal guy, and I've been struggling with mental health for a while, really since I was 21, that I know of, not even count my childhood. I think that was more naive to my childhood, but once I became an adult and actually started living out here, I've been struggling with mental health off and on. Like I said, had suicide attempts. Like I said, pretty much lost my job. I'm pretty much just why I'm here, where I'm at now, in my current state, because I had a good full-time job, decent full-time job. I don't want to say it was great, but it was decent. I could take care of myself and all that. Lost everything, lost my apartment. Everybody know my story. I'm probably gonna put it in the description. You can go check out my other channel. I got another channel that's not active, but there's a lot of videos over there. But I was pretty much had a journal about mental health, brought up topics. It's called The Open Book with Troy West. Troy West is me. So you go check that channel out. So I go get the full story, but basically I struggled with mental health too for years, still struggling with it today. But I talk to a lot of people and they say, and I know Austin Meadows in the position, he can afford a therapist, an everyday therapist. Now I've talked to therapists, but not on a consistent basis. I haven't had a steady one, which I probably need to try, or I probably will eventually try one day. And in my current situation, it'd be hard to have a therapist. But I think, this, my thing is, just to touch on a lot of things with me, it is, it's just tough trying to explain it in a good way. Mental health is real out here. There's a lot of people that struggle with it more than you think, so I just want to touch on it because I've been talking to a few people. Like I said, I've been my situation right now at work has really been a toll on me. It's affected me in a whole lot of areas, so I won't get into detail about that either. But I just feel, in my personal experience, I just feel abandoned, and I was talking to a friend about it. Hopefully she didn't take it like I was, talking about her, or but my thing is, part of the reason why I struggle, because I don't have, it's not that, because I've talked to people, but it's different. Like, you don't feel like, not that they're not listening, because other people listen, but it's like, and maybe it's just me, everybody's different. I just want to feel like that you care, like you really care. I don't want a general answer, which might be messed up in my head, but you want to feel the genuineness in the conversation. You don't want to just think they just doing it just because they being nice to you, or they doing it just because they don't want to tell you off. But you can always tell, like, it's obvious. And I sort of said that to my friend, like, you tolerate more if you really like the person, you really care about the person, and you'll tolerate a little bit more. You give it a little bit more leeway. You give it a little bit more of your time. It's obvious. And maybe I need to realize that. That's basically what I said. I need to take things for what they are, take the obvious for what it is. And I still sometimes just look past that, and maybe I gotta just start not doing that. Like, if the person don't seem interested, just leave them alone. Or if they don't want to talk, just leave the person alone. And maybe I need to start doing that more. But the general sense is, I just wanted to give my take on it because nobody's above it. The athletes, that's why I commend Austin Meadows for even sharing. He ain't had to tell us that. He could have just said he was out for injury, or anything. But I think he wanted to get his message out there, because there's a lot of people out here that feels alone. So that's why the athletes doing it, or people of stature. talking about it openly, I think it's a big thing. I think it helps a lot. Like what Kevin Love did it, that was huge. A lot of guys, can't think of it. He stand out to me because just, it's always the people you don't think that's struggling with it. Like I think people probably think I'm a happy guy all the time because I don't show a lot of my anger. I was just telling another friend that I don't show a lot of angerness all the time. I do sometimes. Like I've noticed that I snap sometimes, but it's not often. Like I've always struggled with that, with my anger. So maybe that's why I need to probably talk to a therapist. I don't, I don't like to get angry, even though it's probably something that is normal, but I just don't like doing it. I don't like getting to that point where I feel the way, So, but with all that being said, like I said, if you want to know more about my story, I put my other channel in the description. Just wanted to say that it's real out here. I didn't want to get too far, but I already been talking about it for about 10 minutes. And like I said, we only got an hour to record, so. But if you want to know more about my stance on it, either reach out to me, let me know, or like I said, you check out my other channel. I'm gonna put that in the description box. So like I said, I've been struggling with mental health, with depression for years. But it's, I don't want to get on here and just say woe is me. But that's the thing, like well, with my situation, it's like when I talk about it, it's like, okay, the person will listen, and it's like, okay, enough, and you don't know where the line, you don't know, but like I said, I don't have a lot of people, I don't have a lot of friends, and I'm not saying that, I'm just saying it to make a point, because people say, well, just go out and what, go out and just walk around, like, where am I go to? And then I live in Baltimore City. Sure, you could walk around the corner, and that could be your last walk. It's so dangerous out here. It's like, you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. Maybe I do need to get out, meet more people. I've always been a sort of social introvert. I don't interact with a lot of people. That's just always been my MO. I always like to have 1 or 2 people, and that's it. I don't like a whole group of people, because then people start doing stupid stuff to me when you got a group, but I just want to get my take on it, because I haven't talked about it in a while. So let's go ahead and move on to the NBA. Donovan Mitchell getting traded. Wow, that was sort of a surprise a little bit where he went. It's not that he got traded, because Utah pretty much, let's just stay on the Jazz for a minute. Utah is pretty much tearing it down. Like I said, the Rudy Gobert trade was about a month ago to Minnesota. So it was almost inevitable that they was going to trade Mitchell, but I thought he probably would at least start the season in Utah. I thought he'd probably get traded during the season. But the Cavs, they stepped up and got him. I think it's 3 first-rounders. Colin Sexton, which I think is a big loss for the Cavs, but getting Mitchell in return, and then the emergence for Garland, I think they won't miss him too much. But it's that's probably the biggest name that Utah's getting back, other than the draft picks. But Cleveland expected to be decent, so those first round picks ain't gonna, they might be mid-level, just out the lottery, it ain't gonna be lottery picks. That's basically what I'm saying. So, it was still some value. You just never know. You might find a diamond in the rough with those picks. And I think a couple of pick swaps. I don't know exactly what years or what, But anyway, the Jazz, they starting over, so and then in the Western Conference, I'd be surprised if they had a playoff team next year. I think they might get that little play-in area, but that's the most I expect from them next year, as far as near future. But future, you just never know what the draft is going to be, but you never can bank on that. But the Jazz, they had to make some type of changes. Just saying, they kept running it back. They actually was the 1 seed 1 year, but I never felt they was a championship caliber team. Donovan pretty much was the only scorer consistently. You get something from the other guys, like they had he used to play for the Cavs. He used to play with LeBron. The other guard that come off the bench. I think he almost won 6th Man of the Year. I hate when I get these brain freezes, man. I can't think of people's name. But basically, they had Donovan was the scorer. He had to carry them, and he tried. He did. I mean, his playoff numbers are through the roof. He shows up in the playoffs, but he just didn't have enough. Then the criticism about Rudy. He's like a tall Bill Simmons. He don't score the basketball. He's in there for defense. He's not there to score. He'll get some putbacks and stuff like that, but he's not somebody who can just put in the post and score. He's been criticized for that, and I say rightly so. Like I said, despite the game being a jump shooting game, you still gotta have some type of post presence if you can. But we'll see. But in Minnesota is perfect. That's why Minnesota is perfect for him. Cat Anthony Towns, he's going to be the scorer. Him, Anthony, they got scorers there, so he don't have to score. He can just play his game, which is be an anchor in the middle of the court for defense, rebound, block shots, stuff like that. He could pretty much just focus on that. He don't have to focus on scoring, but it'd be nice if he got an offensive game. Like Shaquille O'Neal kept criticizing him, which I get his criticism. I just think the game has changed, and like I said, if Shaq, imagine a prime Shaq in this era, he would destroy. Like, it's nobody that would be able to stop him. Nobody. He would average 30 points a game easy. As long as he can get the ball in the spot, he would score. But that's a whole nother story. But I understand Shaq's frustration with but I don't like him talking about the contract a little bit. That's my only issue with Shaq. But Shaq is right though. But that's just how the way the world is. People make more money as it progresses. Like, you was making the most money that anybody ever made. It's just bound to happen. Inflation, whatever you want to call it. So players are making more money just for that reason. Not because they're better players. Because I think people get that confused. Like, nobody go to camp. None of these centers is nowhere near Shaq's level. That's not even close. Like, I can't even think of one guy. Maybe Embiid. That's it. And Cat plays center, but Cat's more of an outside. Like, to me, he's not a post guy. He can do it, but I think he's more of a jump shooting big man. But other than Embiid, I give Jokic his due too, even though Jokic is more, like I said, a European style center. But other than those two guys, and then Shaq was still, to me, I think Embiid probably could hold his own a little bit against Shaq, but I still would take Shaq over there. So ain't nobody questioning Shaq's what he like. Man, he would destroy these players today, man. Like, it wouldn't even be close. Like, all you would have to do, it'd be like Dwight Howard. I know he don't like being compared to Dwight Howard because he criticized him too sometimes. But I think the Dwight Howard, that Orlando team, it was perfect. He did his thing in the post when he could, even though he could have been better at it. But that's Orlando was just a bunch of jump shooters around him. Turkoglu and Jameer Nelson. Those guys, I mean, they was good players, but he was basically the White, and he carried them to the finals. The Lakers was too much for him, but I think if you put Shaq in that situation with just a bunch of shooters, all you had to have is 4 shooters on the court, and maybe a 3-and-D. Make sure we play a little defense though, but you got 4 shooters around you. Just Shaq get that post. Either he's going to dominate, take you to the basket, and dunk on you, or whatever, or pass it out to one of your shooters and shoot it. And that's how the old Orlando Magic was when he was in when he was a young Shaq. Nick Anderson and 3D. Scott Penny ran the point. He scored what he could score, but there's no question. So Shaq should. I think that's why Shaq is a little upset. I think people trying to. I think Shaq taking it as like these guys are better than him. No way. Excuse my language. No way. No way. It's just the money. It's just better now. That's all. So Shaq shouldn't need to worry about that. But other than that, like I said, Utah is tearing down. Cleveland, like I said, for the Cavs, I think they made a run last year. They struggled in the second half of the season. Cause they was a 5th. I think they got high as a 5th seed, like at one point during the season, but they fell all the way down to the play-in. I think this improves their team. They might be a lower part. Say about they might could get the 6. You know, that's possible. They might get to the 6 seed, but I think that's it because the East is just so, like I said, so much stronger now. Milwaukee, like I said, still like the Bucks. We're about to talk about Giannis because he's been talked about a lot unfairly of late. Boston is still gonna be there. Miami, to me, they're the 3 top teams probably right there. And Philly, I put Philly in there. Brooklyn is a wild card. Now the rest is all in. So just that alone, they're gonna be a force in the East. I just hope Ben Simmons come back. You know, I talked about it last week, but I hope Ben Simmons is ready to play this season. Because if so, him, Kyrie, I like Kyrie Irving as well. And Kyrie, you know, like I said, everybody criticized Kyrie, you know, about in and out, which is fair. But if them 3 can play, I think they'll be a dynamic team. Then you still got after that, to me, they're the solid 5. But after that, it's pretty much, I say, it's wide open a little bit. I like Toronto, even though they fell off. I like the Raptors. I like what they're doing. Charlotte as well. Charlotte's improving. So you got it. So they'll be in that mix. Atlanta, the Hawks. Hawks a wild card too, because you see how far they got the year before. But I think Trae Young, I think he needs help. You know what I mean, as well. So I think that's Atlanta's problem. But they just made a trade. Who they traded for? They traded for someone of late. Probably should have wrote that down, but I wasn't trying to get all deep. I'm just trying to break down the East. But Cleveland will be a playoff team, but I think they can break it to 6, maybe 5. But that's it. I think the other teams are just better. But they got a good team though. I like Jared Allen. He's a good center for today's game. Like I said, I think Donovan got something to prove. Like I said, I like Garland as well. So the Cavs bench probably gotta get better, but they have a decent team. They'll be a playoff team next year. Well, this year, really, in a couple weeks. Season starts about a month, so look out for that preview show coming. But yeah, that shook up the NBA this week. I like Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, one of him. I like him. I like LaMelo Ball. All these young guys coming up. Ja Morant, that's what I was thinking about. Ja Morant is unbelievable. I like watching him play. The Grizzlies, watch out for them next year. Well, this year, in a couple weeks. I like these young guys. I think the NBA is going to be in a good place with these young guys coming up. Anthony Edwards, we talked about Minnesota. I like his game. I like these young guys, man. So can't wait till the season starts. That's why I'm so excited. I'm actually excited about the 2K because, you know, I kind of want to play. I kind of want to see the players, you know. So, like I said, we about to. Let's just go and get into the Giannis thing. This came out because Gilbert Arenas. Everybody remember Gilbert Arenas? Used to play for the Washington Wizards. That's what he's most known for. I know him for some other stuff too. He's been on YouTube now, arguing with back and forth with Kwame Brown. Check out both of those guys. But I ain't watched the Gilbert stuff yet on YouTube. I just pretty much watch him when he's on Kwame or, you know. But Kwame Brown, he's a good YouTuber and used to be the #1 draft pick. Was the #1 draft pick back at 01, first overall from high school. But everybody knows Kwame. Well, I've been listening to Kwame for about a year and a half since the Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson situation happened. But Kwame gave out a lot of jewels too. Yeah, he liked the roles to go back and forth. Him and Gilbert been going back and forth. But he didn't agree with Gilbert either. Basically, Gilbert Arenas said that Giannis basically is don't have a good basketball IQ. He don't have the work ethic. That's what I don't agree. Like the work ethic and the thing is to stay in shape and all. I'm like, what? Like, did you look at this guy? Like, I mean, he don't even. I mean, he got a basketball body because he's tall, but he look like a. I don't know, man. It's just he got like that shouldn't be no question. Like, you know, his condition and all that. But see, he going by minutes. Gilbert's going by numbers. Like Giannis, I think average minutes, they said it was like low 30s. But Kwame had a good point. He was like Budenholzer. He's from the Spurs tree, from Popovich tree. You know, he did that with they don't want you playing 35, 40 minutes a game. They want you in that 30 range. And then Milwaukee sometimes will blow you off the court, so you don't have to play the fourth quarter. So I pretty much don't agree with Gilbert either. I think he's nuts for saying what he said. But I think Gilbert do know basketball. I do think he knows basketball. I do think he knows what he's talking about. But this one, I think he's way off. I think it's more of an opinion, in my opinion. Even though I say I'm not a basketball player, I never played basketball. But it's no way. And he's a champion, you know. And no offense to Gilbert, he ain't never won a championship. Now, so the IQ, you know. But basically, you know, he said he picked McCarthy and said, "Well, I'm shooting the ball." You know what I'm saying? So that's not a good approach to the game if you go, you know. Even if we all know you're the best, so you're the best scorer of the Wizards, but shooting the ball sometimes can hinder you, you know, if you shoot the ball too much. To get your teammates involved usually always is a better option. So, but I think he's the best player in the NBA right now. Like, you know, over anybody. A lot of people still say Durant. A lot of people still say LeBron. I can't, you know, I won't push back on it, but what Giannis have done the last few years, he's the best player. Now, his skill-wise, not skill, because I think he got basketball skill, but just his jump shoot, really, that's all it is. He's not a consistent jump shooter. And I think that's what a lot of people can't see. But see, Gilbert went by numbers with the minutes. You gotta go by numbers with the scoring. He's been the top 2, top 3 scorer in the last few years, 2 back-to-back MVPs. You know, like, I don't get it. I don't get where this is coming from. Some people think he's just trolling, just trying to get his name out there again. I don't know, but a lot of people don't agree with him. But there's some people out there that feels that way though too. Well, it's some, I'm gonna say a lot. There's some but it's basically because he don't have a consistent jump shot, even though he's improved that as well since he's been in the NBA. So I ain't get it, but I ain't gonna push back because Gilbert actually played in the NBA, and I think he is smart when it comes to basketball. But I think he's wrong on this one. So, to be honest, that's why I got Milwaukee. Really, honestly, I don't. I think they probably would have got back to the finals this year, and I think they would have beat the Warriors just because I think Giannis would have destroyed them just like he did Phoenix. I don't think Draymond's a great defender, but unless he would have got in his head, he wouldn't have been able to stop Giannis. No way. And I think, like I said, Boston shot themselves in the foot with the turnovers, but you know, I think they would have beat him in like 6 games. I think, like I said, the jump shooting, you know, because Steph Curry had a monster series. If he'd have played like that, I think Clay was a little bit too inconsistent. I think that's would have been, if they'd have still had Middleton, I think they would have repeated. I think they would have went back to back. So, but they couldn't get past Boston, even though Boston almost gave. They still almost beat Boston despite that. So, and I think they would have beat. Who was in the Eastern Conference Finals? Miami, right? Now that would have been a tough one. But I think Miami just. I don't know. They just couldn't score no more. I don't know what was going on. Jimmy Butler had to do too much of scoring. So, but yeah. So he's the best player. I don't get what Gilbert was going with this, but and he actually doubled down on it too. So he believes what he believes. He think. I mean, everybody could be better, but I think he could be better. But I don't think all that deeper stuff that he was talking about, the condition and his IQ. I think that's where he messed up at. Alright, let's go on to the NFL. We doing alright time. We got about 25 minutes. The Broncos extended Russell Wilson yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I didn't hear about it till yesterday afternoon. 5-year extension. 162 guaranteed. So now he's making about 245. Now this has been a debate too, because some people think Russell Wilson is what? I think he just turned 30. I think he's like 30, 31. And this is there's the 5 more years. So, I think some people think that's too long of an extension. But I was telling my girl Cece, big Ravens fan, used to work with a good friend of mine. She's a big Ravens fan. I put on Facebook, about today's show, but I was going to talk about this. So she wanted my opinion right there. And I just basically said Denver had no choice. Like, I've been, as far as what I know, when the next time is going to be a college quarterback coming out. And then they had done good drafted anyway. Drew Lock and everybody else that they drafted. Brock Osweiler. The quarterbacks that they did draft. Osweiler had a little good, okay run, but he still ultimately wasn't the guy. Like Peyton, they traded for the quarterback. They traded for Peyton, now they traded for Russ. And I think Denver got a good team around him. But I like Russell Wilson. I like his poise. I think everybody joke about his mannerisms and stuff like that, but I think that helps on the football field. You got to have a clear mind, a cerebral mind that he has. I think that helps him with his limitations. He was too short and all this other stuff. But he's definitely overcame those situations. I think the Broncos can do some damage in the AFC this year. But I think, far as the extension, people say, well, why this, why that? I think they don't have no trade. Who else you going to get? You can't trade for nobody else. And you look around the league, like I said, most teams got who they want they got to be, either who they want they got to be or they got. So there's a few teams out there. Atlanta. I'm gonna throw Tennessee in there just because I don't think Tyron Taylor here will last too long. Depends on what year he had this year. So they might need a quarterback. But everybody else, maybe New Orleans, but it depends on what Jameis do. Everybody got their guy. Even the teams that's been like Jacksonville, you got just drafted Trevor Lawrence, so he ain't going nowhere for at least another year or two. Zach Wilson, the New York Jets. And I'm just naming bad teams just for example. Detroit, I guess maybe Detroit. This is my personal opinion. Jared Goff, I don't really. Jared Goff don't jump out at me, so maybe maybe Detroit. But it's not a lot of teams that really just need a quarterback right now. But Atlanta and really Atlanta, really that's the only team that's down to. I'm trying to think about some AFC teams because the NFC, let's look at the East. Philly got Jalen Hurts. He's their guy for now. Washington is straight for Carson Wentz. Dak is Dallas. The Giants maybe because Daniel Jones, this is his make or break year. So the Giants might be out there. We go to the West. Matthew Stafford for the Rams. Kyler Murray just got his big contract. Cardinals. Who else in the West? Seattle. Well, that's another team then. Seattle. I forgot. Seattle is the big one. They need a quarterback. But San Francisco, they go over Trey Lance for now, but that's their guy. He's young, but that's their guy. Let's go to the North. Chicago with Justin Fields. They just gave Kirk Cousins an extension. I didn't agree with that, but they gave it to him, so he's their guy. Aaron Rodgers ain't going nowhere. And I just brought up Detroit Goff, but even though I don't believe in Goff, but Goff is their guy. So that's half the league right there. I'm just talking about the NFC and the AFC. All these young guys: Herbert, Derek Carr in the West. Everybody got their guy, so you pretty much had no choice, Denver, to do this. So that's how I try to explain to her. But I don't see how people coordinating this with Lamar Jackson situation. Me now, I'm talking about my Ravens now. To me, it's the two different situations. The Ravens might have made a mistake though. I was telling her this too because she's a Ravens fan, so I pretty much was saying why people comparing it to the Russell Wilson and this is a whole different situation. First of all, he in this rookie contract. He's won an MVP. Now, I just thought about this after I said what I said. I still think it's the front office. It's more in the front office, even though I'm about to say this. What do Lamar really want? Like, what is his number? Is it really realistic? Or is he asking for something crazy like You know, something nuts like that's throwing up like 600 million or something like that. I don't know. If he asked for that, because if he asked for that, then yeah, I would hesitate a little bit too. But despite of that, though, you got to get it done. Like they had to get it done before the season. Lamar, he's his own agent. So some people say, well, maybe no. Honestly, I don't see why a lot of other players don't be their own agents, but agents don't want to hear that because that's gonna put them out of business. But I mean, it can't be that. I'm not saying it's easy. I mean, it might be harder than we think, you know. But I would just read the contract. Like, you know, if I understand something, I just, you know, pick some people's brains. But I don't think I would have an agent, to be honest with you. Or if I do have it, like how Lamar did, I think his mom is basically his agent. But I would have like a family member, somebody that handles all my stuff, like my promotions, my endorsements, all that stuff. You know, I would want one person that hopefully I would, you know, I would have an agent, but they would be probably like an NFL agent, probably just be somebody, well, hopefully like somebody I trust, a family member or something. That's not, and I, you know, of course I take care of them for sure. I think that's how Lamar doing it, but he said he was gonna cut off contract negotiations by week 1. Week 1 is here, so he gonna go through the season, and like I told her this too. I think he purposely didn't play the preseason. I don't think it's just because they want to. I think the team probably wasn't to play a little bit. I think he didn't want to play in the preseason. I think that's my opinion. I don't understand on that. You probably never know that, but that's what I really think happened. He's smart. He's not going to put himself out there for no meaningless game. Now, regular season, fine, you gotta go out there and play. But preseason, he said, no, I'm not playing. I think that's what happened. And the Ravens didn't push back on it, you know. And the Ravens are a good organization for keeping things in house. You don't see a lot of drama usually with that. And if they do, they get you out of here. Just like they did Earl Thomas a few years ago with the Ray Rice situation. Even though I think they handled that kind of wrong, but you know they got a reputation of being a good organization. So I don't see the correlation between him and Russ. But people say, well, maybe he don't deserve it. He didn't play well in Seattle. That offensive line of Seattle always been bad. But look what he did despite that. You know, yeah, he had a rough year last year, but pretty much no consistent running game since Beast Mode. It was really been no consistent running game. The receivers are decent. DK Metcalf, I really like him, and Tyler Lockett, but DK Metcalf, I think, if he get in a good situation, it might not be in Seattle, but if he get a good quarterback, consistent quarterback, he can be something special in this league. But like I said, I think he got an opportunity with Denver. Of course, you got this tough division, but he was in a tough division in the NFC West. So and a lot of people picking Denver to go real far. So it's gonna be interesting to see this year. But I don't mind the contract. I don't like saying somebody don't deserve a contract, but maybe, you know, it's too long a little bit, but with choice that Denver have, what he was going to do. You traded for this guy, you might as well commit to him for the next 5 years. Why not? Like, why trade for him then? Like, that's why I don't get what people say that. So alright, so let's preview. We got about 15 minutes, so let me get through this real quick. Bills at Rams this Thursday night. I want to give a quick preview of that game. Join me Wednesday night. We're gonna be live. I'm gonna announce it now. I probably put it on social media Friday, Tuesday. I'm gonna go live on Twitch and YouTube live Wednesday night. I'm gonna give you all my predictions for the NFL season. Start writing out notes for that probably today, actually. But this is the first game of the season. But you'll get all my predictions. Who I think will make it to Super Bowl 57. MVP, defensive play, all that. You'll get all my whole wall-to-wall preview. Every team Wednesday night. So join me Wednesday night live. I'm scheduled for 9:30. But if something happens, it might be a little later. But I'm not gonna go no sooner than 9:30. So 9:30 is my target time. 9:30 p.m. Join me on Twitch or on YouTube. Twitch, I'm gonna film through my phone, and on YouTube, I'll be on this platform as always. So make sure you join me Wednesday night for that. But let's talk about this game though. And I just told you my previous show, so I'm not gonna let the cat out the bag. But basically, I think real highly of both of these teams, the Buffalo Bills and the LA Rams. I already made my decision on these two teams for the year, on a lot of things. But let's just say I think these two teams might see each other again. So you can take that for what it's worth. So, and they meet in week 1. Bills, like I said, all the moves they made, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they lost a few guys, but they gained some more pass rusher. I think they needed with Von Miller. I think Von Miller is going to be a big impact there. Coming off a Super Bowl win, so it's kind of weird. Like a lot of these games got a lot of weird storylines, like teams that used to play for other teams, and they just getting them out the way. Like Seattle, like Denver. I was just talking about Russell Wilson, Denver, Seattle. That's Monday night. So Von Miller, even though he was only there a couple half the season and won the Super Bowl with the Rams, but still, it's his former team. And he gets to play him week 1, get his ring. So I think this game is going to come down to the rustiness of the quarterbacks. Josh Allen for the Bills, Matthew Stafford for the Rams. Had a little small injury, but they say he's fine. No significant injuries for both teams, really. I think this is Josh Allen here to step out. I don't know about the MVP yet. I still got to think about that, but I think he's being a running. So with Matthew Stafford as well. I think their two main receivers as we look at the offenses: Bills, Stephon Diggs, and Cooper Kupp for the LA Rams. But I think for the Rams, they big pickup Allen Robinson. I really like Allen Robinson. I think he's a consistent receiver. I think he's gonna have a big year. And I think Jamison Crowder, who just got picked up by the Bills, I think he will have a monster year on the other side in that slot, on the other side of Stephon Diggs. So I think they might show in this game early. Now the defenses, we all know, I just brought up Von Miller for the Bills, but Aaron Donald can wreck this whole game. He's capable of doing it. So if they could keep him in check, but I just see this game. I think these opening games hard to predict. Well, the first couple of weeks is hard to predict because teams still trying to get their mojo. But I just got a feeling the Bills going to make a statement. I think they got a bad taste in their mouth from the playoff loss to the Chiefs, and I think you think because the Bills getting a lot of praise. A lot of people got them doing very well this year. I think it's the opposite. I think they taking it as full. I think they taking it more of a confident thing. I don't think they getting big headed. So I think the Bills make a statement. I think they win this game. I say it'd be a fairly high score. I say it'd be about 27-24. I think it'd be close though. I think the Rams, if the Bills could last that first quarter and still be in the game, if the Rams don't jump up like 2 touchdowns or nothing like that, I think they'd be fine. Then the Rams, home field, it might be better now that they won, but they didn't have a real good home field last year. Like it's almost like playing in a road game. Like the visitor team crowd was there more than them. But I think the Bills will win this game. I'm gonna go ahead and say they will. But I think this could be, like I said, this could be the Super Bowl this year again, because the Rams and the NFC, which I'm gonna talk about Wednesday, I think the NFC is pretty much wide open, and I think the Rams are one of the most consistent teams in that conference. So I think they could repeat, even though everybody repeats since the Patriots. What was it, 04, 03, 04? So I think they got a good chance to do it this year, just because the NFC is sort of wide open this year. Bills would have a tough time. The AFC is stacked, but I think because they're in the weaker division in the whole conference, that will help them. So, like I said, so I think both teams have definitely got a chance to meet again in Super Bowl 57. But I think for this night, I think the Bills going to make a statement. I think they're going to win this game 27-24. I think Josh Allen have a monster game. And I think the Bills make a statement. So that's why I stand up on that game. And we'll talk more about it Wednesday as we'll talk about the whole league. So alright, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. We got about 10 minutes left of time. Final thoughts. College football news. College football fans, this is a big week. Ohio State and Notre Dame are meeting tonight. That's probably the biggest game of the weekend. Another big game is, I think, who was it? Alabama. Well, Alabama plays today, but that's not Georgia, Oregon. Yeah, Georgia, of course, defending champions. Oregon ranked 11th, so that'd be an interesting game. I think that game is in the afternoon. So big college football games. College football, I like college football though. But the biggest news for college football was the committee has decided on a 12-team playoff. I think it's eventually going to. I think it's going to be 12 for a while now, but we still got a couple years. What's this? 2022. So in 4 years, 2026. That's what it's going to be the format. Because the 4 just wasn't enough. I thought they would go to 8 first, and then go to 12, but they going straight to 12. So that means some teams going to have buys and stuff like that. But I think 12. To me, 12 is enough, because you probably can at least get one. You at least have one for all 5 power conferences. Then you have a little mixed in there, like a Cincinnati. Like Cincinnati made it last year. You had some Cincinnati's and Boise States. Those teams should be hard for them to get in either, so everybody get their shot. So I think 12 is a good number. It just was shocking that it's going to happen so soon. I thought they would slow it down, go to 6. I thought they would go to 6, then 8, slowly move their way up to 12. I think 12 is good. I think if they go past 12, I think the most you go to 16. I think after 16 you gotta stop. Like, you gotta stop at 16. But let's see how the 12 thing goes. Well, but it might eventually get to 16, but I think you should stop. 12 is a good number, so we'll see how they work out. I can't wait for it. We gotta wait 4 years, but that was the big news bomb that dropped yesterday. And now that I got the time as well, I'm gonna talk about this definitely next week, and probably for weeks to come. Serena Williams, everybody knows Serena Williams about to retire. She lost last night in the U.S. Open, so she's done with the U.S. Open and with the doubles, because her and Venus lost at the doubles as well. So as far as the speculation is, it's not official, but she pretty much made it official that she's going to hang it up. Like I said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. She's the best tennis player of all time that I've ever seen, period. Male, female, dog, cat, whatever. She's the best ever to me, and I vouch for that anytime I get a chance. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna definitely talk about this next week, as I'm running out of time. But I'm gonna just tell a quick story real quick. It was her younger days. She wasn't established yet. Venus was the big sister was dominating tennis at this time. But I think they wound up meeting in the final. I should have looked this up first, and I probably would. Next week I'll tell the story again. I'm gonna look it up. But I always say I got a great memory. I remember things like almost to the T, even like people's words. And that's why I don't know why people be trying to basically try to lie to me. But anyway, I was taking care of my nieces, so I think this had to be 2002 for U.S. Open, or it might have been 2002, because they was born in January, so they was little babies. And I got sick. I was really dehydrated. That's a lot of bands, but I couldn't move. I was sick, so I was laying in the bed for a couple of days, and I was watching U.S. Open, and that's when I really started noticing Venus and Serena. Definitely Serena. I think Serena won they matchup. If I remember it, I vividly remember it, but that's why I need to look it up. But that's where she started. She pretty much passed Venus in tennis. Some people say, well, where's the competition? Well, Venus was our biggest competition. I agree with that. But they had, she met, Monica Seles, some of them, they was at the tail of their career where she started coming up. But yeah, she seen some of them ladies. Maria Sharapova, even though she was inconsistent, but she still was a threat at times. Pushed Venus a little bit. Now these young girls now, Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka, I hope I pronounced that name right, and that's another person that's dealing with mental health, by the way. And then the tragedy that she went through, losing one of her siblings. I think her sibling got murdered. Because even back then, I was like, I think this might be it. Because usually, most tennis players, women and men, by your mid-20s, you done. Like, you pretty much, that's it. Serena's about to be, she is 40 now. Because she's older than me. I'll be 39 in a couple of weeks. She's already 40, so I know we close to the same age. But, congratulations, Serena. I'm definitely going to cat for you, man. I'm going to cake for you. Next week, you definitely will get much more time. I'm definitely going to be, you probably be the first person I talk about next week. You might have to throw baseball out, because I'm going to do some research and talk about you next week. So still, I'll get ready for that, because she's the greatest, and I'm going to make sure the world knows that she's the greatest. Some people think so, like, she's been getting celebrated, but this should have been happening, before now. Like, she should be celebrated. She should be up there with the greatest athletes of all time as well. What she went through, what she's done for the women's tennis and everything else. So that's my flowers to you, Serena. You will get more flowers next week. So I might have to tag you, because I kind of probably would hope you see it, whatever. So I might have to, hope you, take a look at it, take a look at the blog. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, because like I said, I'm running out of time. Just for a quick update on the channel, like I said, NBA 2K come out, I think Tuesday. It's either Tuesday or Thursday. So definitely going to have that set up, but I might have to do some moving around. Like I said that before. BioShock, I'm gonna do one probably tonight. I got to, because tomorrow I'm not doing any content. I work all day tomorrow, so I ain't doing no content tomorrow. I'm gonna do a Madden video today. I'm gonna play a 9-minute exhibition. I'm gonna put a poll up on my social media, so make sure you check out my social media to be in the description. It's either gonna be Chargers Bills, or if some dramatically somebody give me a suggestion, I might go with that. But it's gonna be the Chargers or the Bills most likely. I'm leaning more Chargers, just because the Bills are, like I said, is a strong contender. So is the Chargers. A lot of people give the Chargers love too, but I think the Bills are much more established, because they've been in the playoffs the last few years. But so that's all that's coming up on the channel. So check it out. So let me get on out of here. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. It's already 10 o'clock, so it's gonna be late. It's gonna be a late plug today. I always aim for 10. But thank you guys so much. Let me get out of here. Don't want to run out of tape. Appreciate you guys. Check out all my social media, like I said. Had a good show today. Appreciate it. And talk to you guys soon. Peace and love. Check out all my social media, like I said. Check out my channel, pretty. If you like video games, this is the place to be. If you like sports, this is the place to be. So Troy West said, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys next week. Well, I'll talk to you guys Wednesday. I'm sorry, Wednesday, big show. I posted on social media. NFL preview special. It's live Wednesday night. I'll see you then.